Using professional vocabulary and phrases in the workplace is a great way to open up more opportunities for you and show others what a good command of the English language you have. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Catalin, welcome back to my English channel. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about some formal vocabulary that you can use at the workplace to sound more professional. If you've been learning English for a while, you probably have quite a large vocabulary, but most of it is likely informal words. Sometimes it's better to use formal words when you're at work to sound more professional. That's why today we are going to see how you can change some informal words and informal phrases into more professional language. So let's get into the video. First of all, let's begin with the word start. Start is a fine word to use, but there is another word that you can say to sound more professional. Instead of saying, let's start the meeting, you can use the word commence. Commence means to begin something. Let's commence the meeting. Be careful though, because not every time you use the word start, you can use the word commence. For example, you can say start the car, but you can't say commence the car. Commence means to begin something in a formal or official manner. Please commence the project immediately so we can finish by the deadline. Number 2 is tell me more. You would say tell me more when you're interested in hearing more about something. That's interesting. Tell me more. A more formal word to use instead of saying tell me more is elaborate. Elaborate also means that you're asking for more information. That sounds very interesting. Could you elaborate? Or please elaborate on that idea. A key difference between using tell me more and the word elaborate is when we use tell me more, we use the word about. Tell me more about that. But for elaborate, we use the word on. Could you elaborate on that? Please elaborate on your thoughts. Number 3 is I think. Sometimes in a formal situation, saying I think can sound a little bit weak. You don't sound very confident. Instead of saying I think, you can say the phrase in my opinion or from my point of view. Both of these phrases mean the same thing as I think, but they make you sound more sure of yourself. For example, in my opinion, plan A is the best, or from my point of view, plan B looks like it will succeed. Up next, in number 4, we have the very common word give. Give in formal situations can sometimes sound a little bit too rude. Give me the data for the report. That sounds quite forceful. Instead, you can use the word provide. Could you provide me the data for the report? Be careful though, because not every time you use the word give, you can replace it with provide. Like, give me 5 minutes. We can't say provide me 5 minutes. This is because provide has a special meaning. It means to give something to someone to allow them to achieve or complete a task. For example, please provide your details so we can complete your application. Number 5 is the phrasal verb put off. To put something off means to make it happen at a later date. The meeting has been put off until tomorrow afternoon. Although put off does communicate the meaning that you want to, a more formal way to say put off is to postpone. Postpone has exactly the same meaning as put off, but it sounds a lot more professional and is better to use in the workplace. This meeting has been postponed till tomorrow. Our next one is also another phrasal verb. It is to deal with something. If you deal with something, it means that you do something about a problem or an issue. For example, I'll deal with this issue. That means I will take the responsibility for solving it. In a professional setting, a more formal way to say this is that you will handle something. I'll handle this issue. This means the same thing as to deal with, but it is better to use in a professional setting because saying that you'll deal with something can sometimes mean that you don't really want to, but you're forced to do it. If you say that you will handle something, it sounds like you're taking responsibility, being confident, and you know exactly what you're going to do to solve the problem. I'll deal with the report submission, as opposed to I'll handle the report submission. I'll handle the report submission sounds far more confident. Our next informal word is actually two words, need or must. Using these two words in a formal setting can sometimes sound too forceful. I need you to do this. You must do this. Instead of saying need or must, you can use the word required. If something is required, it means things cannot go on without it. You could say, this work is required of you, or the completion of this is required. You may have noticed that the way that we use required in a sentence is very different from the way that we use need or must. This is because need and must are verbs, whereas required is an adjective. So if you would like to replace need or must with required, you might need to change your sentence up a bit to make things work. Required, being an adjective, must be used to describe something. This work is required. Here, required describes the work. Number 8 is the word get. And similarly to need or must, get in a formal situation can sometimes sound too demanding. For example, get me the client's information. Get this report. Instead of using the word get, you can say obtain. Obtain the client's information. Obtain this report. But again, do be careful because every time you use the word get, you cannot always replace it with the word obtain. For example, get to work or get this done. In these two sentences, you cannot replace get with obtain. This is because for these two sentences, the word get does not mean to actually have something. You can only replace get with obtain when it means to actually have something. And in number 9, we have to think about something. Saying I will think about it in an informal situation is completely fine. However, in a formal context, it would be better to use the word consider. I'll consider it. The word consider is very similar to think about, but there is one small difference. When you use think about, you don't need to make a decision at the end. But when you use the word consider, it normally means that you're thinking about what decision you will make. And when you're finished considering, you should have made a choice. For example, I will consider your application and let you know if you have been accepted. And finally, in number 10, we have the word end. Instead of saying end in a formal situation, you can say terminate. For example, I will end the meeting or I will terminate the meeting. Using and in a formal situation is fine, but we often use terminate when we want to sound stronger, forceful, and clearer. I'll end the contract does not sound as clear as I'll terminate the contract. But now it is time to terminate this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learnt some more formal words that you might not have known before. Using professional vocabulary and phrases in the workplace is a great way to open up more opportunities for you and show others what a good command of the English language you have. If you did find this video helpful, please make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to my channel before you go. Sharing this video with your friends would also be amazing, as it really helps me out. If you have any questions or would like to leave me any comments, you can do that down in the comment box below, or you can send me a message directly on my social media. I will see you guys in the next lesson. Have a lovely week. Bye!